Joining us now, Glenn Davis. Glenn Davis, House of Delegates member, Republican, Virginia Beach, also one of 3 announced candidates for lieutenant governor on the Republican side. And he's got his RV driving around the state, mellow yellow. Hey, Glenn, nice to have you.
John.
Give us an update here.
John, it's been a great tour around Virginia so far. Early last week, we topped the 5,000-mile mark since April 15th, touring Virginia in mellow yellow, and that doesn't include the miles on the car or the rented SUV we had early on. The message is resonating well. It's what we all expected. People have not fully recovered yet from, the recession. People are still hurting. The federal government obviously isn't helping. And people are looking to be back on the track where people can have an opportunity and get jobs. And we're just not there yet. And at the same time, while we're getting hit from federal regulations and federal taxes, we've got the state doing things that just compound upon it. So things have been going great, and we're really rolling into Western Virginia here in about a week or so. We've got some traveling between now and then to do first, but it's been a great tour.
Well, I've seen your RV all over the place. I texted you or called you the other day. I was driving down I-64 heading east coming back from Richmond, so I think it was about Williamsburg, and I saw you going by me on the other side. That's why I texted you. I've also seen you in Chesterfield. I've seen you, obviously, in Southeast Virginia. I saw you in the Lynchburg area one day. I mean, this thing is everywhere. You're putting a ton of miles in, as you said, 5,000 miles. But look, running a statewide race, not easy. Not like running in your house, which is a confined area.
What's
been
John.
the biggest? What's been the biggest difference?
Yeah. Oh, it's very different. And I'll tell you, I don't think people realize, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I don't think people knew what to take of me when I announced early on and said, okay, we're going to run. We're going to run to make Virginia number one again for business and job growth and get back that position that we once had and fix our tax policy so we're not 30th in the nation anymore. And that we're going to travel 300 days this year. And I said, I'm going to go buy an RV to do it. I think my opponent and a number of people were surprised when my RV showed up at the Shad Flanking. Mm-hmm. I think they've been surprised that we are on track to travel 300 days this year. But you cannot grow jobs in the Commonwealth, pick our economy up, if you're not willing to go out there and understand the unique opportunities and challenges that each part of the state has. You can't sit in an ivory tower and understand that economic development in Greene County means helping to fix their water infrastructure. And economic development in Petersburg means helping with their schools. Those are the things that unless you're willing to get on the ground and go talk to people, you don't understand. And we have this issue of a round peg square hole that we suffer from here in Virginia. But by getting out there and you realize there really is a way to create jobs all around the Commonwealth. But a person just has to be willing to go out there and understand the unique differences of each locality.
Yeah, I tell you what, you are so right. We say the same thing just on our radio show, that what really separates us from the competition is that we go out and talk to people and we go to different areas and we get involved in the various issues that are going on, and you talk to real people and you get real ideas and you get a feel for what's going on. It's very difficult to sit in your studio or sitting in an ivory tower or sit in your office in Richmond in the General Assembly and know exactly what you have to do in these different areas. That's why I think your idea of buying the RV, marking it up, naming it, and going out and seeing people, I think is a game changer. Look, you're right. I'm not sure when you announced your candidacy, the pundits, if you will, except me, because I saw it from day one. Most of the pundits thought, he's an unknown House of Delegates member from Southeast Virginia somewhere. He's not going to be able to match up with the big guys and gals. But I think, look, right now, this is a very tight three-way race, right?
Oh, I think so. And we've really separated ourselves. I mean, John, I said at the beginning, I'm a businessman. I'm not a politician. I've had the honor of serving in local office, now state office, but my entrepreneurial spirit, but that DNA is inside of me. I don't know how to function otherwise, and our campaign has been exactly that. I have an opponent that's been running for, I guess, over a year now for lieutenant governor, and after session ended, the first thing they did was they ran out and started fundraising. John, I don't have a donate button up on my website yet. My concern, my other goal, I said, in the beginning, we're going to go out there. We're going to make sure our message resonates, because if creating jobs, growing the economy, my turnaround plan for Virginia doesn't resonate, I'm just not running. I'm not going to go create a message that I'm going to try to be passionate about so I can win LG. I've got a message. I know what Virginia needs to get on the right track again. And if that message resonates, then we're going to continue running. And we went out there. We got the RV. My wife, Shelley, has been amazing, and she's been on a number of trips with me. This has always been a team thing with her and I. And now that the message is resonating, we are on trend to do 300 days of travel this year to fully understand the unique opportunities around the Commonwealth. We're getting ready to go in the fundraising mode. But up to this point with the RV, with my staff, I've been self-funding because it's what you do as a business person. You don't create a business or an idea and then go out there and try to get investors. You do a proof of viability, you get it to revenue, and then you go out there. And it should be no different in campaigns. This idea of I want to run for something, but I'm not quite sure what my message is, but please help me and endorse me and give me money. That just doesn't resonate with me, and I don't think it resonates with a lot of other people around the Commonwealth. I think people need to make sure that they know they can make a difference before they get out there and start asking for support, and that's what we've done. And that's why now, when we go around for support, we've been very successful, and things are ramping up very quickly.
Okay, so you got a fundraising report that ended June 30th that's going to come out in a week or so. What can we expect in that?
Oh, John, the only monies that you're going to see on that report are monies that literally someone has walked up to me and given me a check, and I've even said, you don't have to do this yet. We're not at that stage. We really are just coming around to, meet with people. And they've said, Glenn, no, I want to support you. I haven't asked for a check from anyone. I was with a good friend of ours, Shelley and mine, last night, and we were just having dinner after getting back from Centerville, Virginia, for their soiree they have every year. And we were at dinner. We were getting ready to leave, and my friend got up on the way out the door, and he handed me a $1,000 check, and he said, Glenn, here, and just out of the blue. And I'm honored to have that type of support. But, John, I said in April that I'm doing 3 months of going around the state to understand the unique opportunities, make sure I can make a difference like I'm promising, and make sure our message is resonating. And then I'll go and start gaining support and fundraising. And that's what we're doing. It's that whole business thing. You don't raise money before you have a message that's viable, and before you go out there and get around and meet people. It shouldn't be any different in politics. So you're going to find that we spent a lot of Glenn and Shelley's money that I've invested in my campaign because I believe in what we're doing. My wife believes in what we're doing. And then you're going to hear about a big fundraiser that is going to be the third week of July. The invites will be coming out shortly.
Well, look, I like the idea of self-funding your campaign to get started. I think that's the right thing to do. See what your message is, see what your traction is, and then go to stakeholders and campaign donors, investors, if you will. Glenn, I expect 8 candidates to get in this race. Right now, there's 3. Yourself, State Senator Bryce Reeves from Stafford County, and from the Northern Virginia and Shenandoah Valley area, State Senator Jill Vogel. How do you stack up against the other 2 candidates that are already in the race?
Well, the great thing about being a Republican, John, is we've got a great bench of candidates for office, from local office to, the state offices and obviously statewide. So I'm honored to be in that grouping with them. And I think we all have our strengths. But my strength is completely different from the others. It's the business background, John. I'm that serial entrepreneur. I'm the guy that started my business in a 1-bedroom apartment at the age of 26 and took it nationwide in 2009. I know how to grow jobs. I know how to grow an economy. I understand tax credits and when it's just wool being pulled over someone's eyes. And those are the things that I think are important. But then when you look at how I've even run my campaign, besides the fact that in our campaign, I'm not going out there and asking for money on day one. I'm going to go out there and do what you do in business, prove viability, and make sure the message is resonating before I start asking for support. I literally got rid of everyone's campaign or my staff's titles this week because It was just confusing. The idea of a campaign manager means something different depending on what campaign they just got off of and these other titles. So I just went around and I said, okay, we're going to run this thing like a business, even inside of our own campaign. And I've got an operating officer, I've got a finance officer, I've got a data integrity director, because I know what those positions are. I know what they do because I know what they do in business. And that's how we've run everything. And that's how I'm going to run when I'm lieutenant governor. And John, when it comes down to it at the very end, you have to look at passion and why are people doing things. For me, it's pretty simple, and I've said it from day one, and my message has never changed. We need to be number one again in the nation for business and job growth. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to the next generation. And I am not going to be part of that generation that I'm told I'm part of right now that is not going to leave this country with the same opportunities for the generation behind us as we had it. Not on my watch. So you've got people that may, for different offices, be creating messages and trying to find something that resonates. For me, I'm not finding anything. If you want to know what Glenn Davis is passionate about, ask me, and you'll find out the same things I've been passionate about even before I announced for lieutenant governor. That we need to be number one for business. Putting people, increasing disposable income is what makes a difference in our country. It's what lifts people up. And when they have money coming in, it changes everything else about their families, their lifestyle, and things that they can really take a part of that American dream. And we're not going to let that American dream slip away as we start to raise our children and the next generation behind us.
Glenn Davis, the favorite right now, although it is early, based on the amount of money that he's raised, is State Senator from Stafford County, Bryce Reeves. Give me a couple of differentials in your message and what you would do in this campaign and as lieutenant governor between yourself and Reeves.
Well, I mean, what I'm going to do as lieutenant governor is already out there, John. It's my 4-point turnaround plan to make Virginia number one again. You want to know how to measure me? We're going to make Virginia number one, and that's what I want to be measured by. We're going to bring 21st century jobs to Virginia, and we've got to be on the cusp of that next technological wave. I tell people Silicon Valley is so 1980s. Cybersecurity is where it's at now, but unfortunately, we're actually penalizing high-tech jobs for high-tech companies for located in Virginia, and we've got to fix that. We've got to modernize our education system. There's so much education or so much technology that could be in Virginia's classrooms that is not in the classrooms today. And never mind falling behind the rest of the nation. We're falling behind globally, and our kids have to be able to compete in a global economy. And we need to grow the small business. 85% of all jobs come from small businesses, but we're strangling them even before they get out of that house. The government doesn't realize it. And honestly, a lot of politicians don't seem to realize that Fortune 500 companies, these global giants, they don't start as a Fortune 500 or a global giant. They start in someone's bedroom, in someone's garage. And if you penalize them or tax them or burden them with regulations out of existence, you miss those opportunities. If you want to understand why innovation's coming from outside the U.S., look at our regulatory and tax environments, and it'll be pretty obvious why the United States is hurting now when it comes to innovation, and we're seeing things being developed overseas. Those are just some of the things that we need to get a hold of, and that's what I'm going to be working on as the next lieutenant governor and make happen. As far as what Bryce is going to work on, he's had a couple of different messages, and I'm waiting to see what he ultimately comes out with. But I can tell you that my passion is pretty plain and simple. We need to make sure this American dream that my great-grandfather was able to take advantage of when he came from Italy in the 1900s, and my grandfather took advantage of even with a sixth-grade education, and I had the opportunity with, doesn't stop at my generation. And that's why I'm running, and I hope people will look us up, give us a chance, and I look forward to working as part of the team to take back Virginia and make us the best state again in the nation.
Glenn, what's your website address?
It's www.davis4lg.com.
Davis4lg.com. Check him out. And if you're driving around and you see the mellow yellow Glenn Davis RV, you know that's Delegate Davis out and about in Virginia campaigning. I've seen it a number of times just driving around. It's pretty amazing. All right, Delegate Davis, thanks for being with us, man. Always appreciate it.
John, thanks for having me.